Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric and Vlogmas 2022. As you can see, it is December 15th and my bobbin is getting full. We need to get the 15th and the 16th on this bobbin before we change. And that just shows you we are nearly 2/3 of the way to Christmas. Well, before I get that, we need to get some fiber. I was ready to start spinning without any fiber in my lap. So, reaching in, just taking the one on the top, and let's see, we have marzipan, and some sort of, let's see, pistachio truffle. So, today is a moss exhaust. So we should have a slightly lighter color than yesterday's evergreen. Well, it's definitely green. It's actually a very nice color. This is going to be such an interesting bobbin of fiber. But let's just go ahead and dig right in. So, here we are on the 15th, and I have been thinking about how close we are getting to Christmas. I'm sure most of you are starting to notice it is feeling like we have moved past the prep time, and now we're deep into the holiday season. My daughter was texting with me the other day, and she said, "Mom, Christmas is only, it is next week." And I was like, well, Christmas can't be next week. I know what she was referring to. I said, Christmas can't be next week. We still have 10 days to go. And there's only 7 days in a week. What she was looking at is that once we get past this weekend, there is nothing standing between us and the Christmas weekend. And so she's obviously very excited. And it does feel like it is getting close. But that's actually one of the surprising benefits of doing Vlogmas this year. I am not getting caught up in the it's almost here. I may mention it because, we are, in essence, counting down. Move that out of the way. But I'm not getting caught up in the feeling like it's almost just around the corner. Mainly because I know how many more days I have to count down. So I really am just taking each day as it comes. I'm not sure I've ever done that before at Christmas time. Just taking each day as it comes. Because for me, every day is sitting down and recording a video. And then editing the video and uploading a video. And because that's what I'm doing, I am taking each day as it comes. Now, on the same topic or a similar topic of time and being aware of time and not rushing time, I have learned or relearned a valuable lesson this week. So if you've been watching my vlogs, you know that my son sent me an early Christmas present of a heat press, and I have been using it to make little ornaments and, just playing to see how heat transfer vinyl, works on different surfaces. And the other day, just after I got it, I did try it out to press fabric, just to get all the creases out of something. Oh my goodness. What a game changer for me. I could press out the fabric, get it nice and crisp and dry and ready to go into the embroidery machine. And I did it in less than 10 seconds. That's all it took. No strain. No strain. What more can I say? It was just a game changer. I know, excited about these little tiny things. I've even seen a comic that's going around, and it's an older one that resurfaces every year, and it's a guy at the wrapping paper counter at a big store or mall, and the woman at the wrapping paper counter, she said, "While I wrap this iron that you're buying for your wife for Christmas, would you like to dash over to the sporting goods store and buy a helmet too?" And the thing is I understand the sentiment, you know. It's not a romantic gift for the husband to give, or the son or daughter to give to the mom, or the husband to give to the wife. It's not a romantic, it's not a fabulous, it's not a bling, you know, filled, it's not, you know, glamorous, but it is very practical. And when practical is something that really helps you, then yeah, you can get excited. But I can understand certainly the joke. Buying a dear loved one an iron for Christmas isn't typically the thing to do. In my case, it was the perfect thing to do. The heat press was such a delight, but it has taught me an important lesson. So I've been using printable heat transfer vinyl for these little ornaments and decorating. Actually, these little bags that I have been pulling my fiber out of, they are the perfect test area for me to play around and see how this heat transfer vinyl works. But printable on vinyl, printable on anything, comes with a little bit of a tip that should be shared. Let the ink dry. Don't get so excited. Don't get so excited that as soon as it has printed and it is hot off the press, as you might say, don't immediately start fidgeting with it, because the ink may not be dry. And hold on a second. I need to distract. There's a cat over there. And I'm trying to get the cat to behave himself. I may have to pause the video here in a moment if he does not find... Nope, I'm going to have to pause the video. Hold on for a second while I take care of a demanding cat. Okay, I am back. We are taking a few moments to introduce you to... Let's see if we can get him in front of the camera. Introduce you to the big monster himself. This is Ting. He shows up behind the scenes. He plays with the curtains. He's always just outside of camera shot. But he this time demanded a little of attention. So I thought we'd take a little moment of break and introduce you to his big fluffiness. Okay, now let's get back to spinning. Get my drop cloth back up here. Find all the fluff that has run away. And start spinning. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, yes. Let the ink dry. Give the ink time to dry. So, I've been... So, I've been learning another lesson. Old school is sometimes less frustrating and better. So let me explain this. So I have been printing out this heat transfer vinyl, and I've been playing. I have one of the cutting machines. Bought it a few years back. Another one of those. My son helped enable me. It was at Christmas time, and I haven't used it much. in the last few years, I find that oftentimes it's easier to go old school and just get out the scissors and cut around a design. I had hoped it'd be something I would use more with applique and machine embroidery, but I go old school. But when it comes to heat transfer vinyl, I have been wanting to figure out how to use this machine to get a nice, clean, close cut around some of the designs that I'm printing out. So with that in mind, and not having remembered the lesson 1, let the ink dry, I immediately printed out a sheet of what looked like little stickers, took it over to the cutting machine, pressed it with my hands down onto the mat that takes it into the cutting machine, and proceeded to smear the ink all over. It was just the dark lines around the picture, but it's still enough to mess everything up, and I had to basically cut it out old-fashioned way. But I had been noticing that if I wasn't careful, if I took it right from the printer, this vinyl right from the printer, immediately over to the cutting machine, that I was getting some smudges. So after getting some black ink on my hands, I decided I'm going to let the ink dry for a few minutes. And I've been reading the instructions for the vinyl. I've been reading the instructions, and it does say, as far as for putting on clothing and such, that you need to let the ink dry for a couple days before putting it in the wash. And I've done enough playing. Oh, again, to remind everyone, I just have my little bowl of debris. It's great for stuffing cat toys, by the way. So I have been using it as we go. But I have played with fabric and ink. I have printed on fabric. I have painted on fabric with different forms of ink. I've had years now of experimenting with color on textiles and other mediums. I am really quite aware of let the ink dry, let the ink cure. This should not be a lesson I had to relearn this Christmas season. But much like a little child at Christmas time, when it is Christmas Eve and they are so excited and they want to open their presents and play with their toys, they don't want to wait for Santa to come. They want it to already be Christmas morning. Much like that little child, I have not exhibited a ton of patience. So that has been my lesson this week. The other thing that has been going on since I last made a vlog yesterday, I have my little snowman, my little Frosty the Snowman earrings in, because we have our first real winter advisory. I am not expecting it to be anything other than cold. And if, perchance, there might be some white stuff, I suspect it will only be frost. Continued frost. We've been under a winter advisory since yesterday evening, but it's, it's really more about ice. So, crossing my fingers, and who knows, maybe when I get done recording this, I will, because I have the curtains drawn so that I can try to control the light. Maybe I'll open up the curtains and see that the winter advisory has shifted. We shall see. And if that is the case, I will post an update. But we have now reached the end of today's spin. Unless, wait, no we haven't. Ha! I was like, I'm looking at the time. I was like, there's no way we took an interruption with Kat. We can't possibly be done. So I checked. We are not done with today's spin. We still have a handful. See, after that Renegade Fiber the other day, I'm getting smart and remembering to check when the time that it says on the clock is less than what it normally takes for me to spin the fiber. So, good. That means I have a few more minutes. I'll tell you, so I told you about the winter advisory. What I didn't mention is knowing that it was going to be cold. Knowing that it was going to stay cold. I got up early, turned on the pellet stove in the sewing room, got a fire going in the wood stove down in the basement, and have turned up the heat in order to keep everyone snug as a bug, except for, as you noticed, the big monster Ting. He hears me talking and decides he needs attention. Actually, they all can do so. But if I get the house warm enough, the little ones will sleep while I record. See? Sneaky. So, yes. Unfortunately, the side effect of getting up and getting everything warm is that by the time I get the setup for all of this ready, the camera's in place, everything, by the time that I've done that, I tend to run a little hot. So I think that the camera isn't going to make me, isn't going to show all of the red. And that actually brings. So I've mentioned about my my camera not always getting the color properly, and how I take other pictures. My phone camera takes wonderfully clear and correct images. I have thought about using it to record my videos because it could handle it without any problem. But there's a downside to my camera. My phone camera shows up all the reds that this camera doesn't. And when I get overly warm, my face gets really red. And while I appreciate a good, realistic video camera, I don't want to look like I am red in the face. There is a limit to how much I want to be associated with Santa Claus and Mrs. Santa Claus, and the rosy cheeks I can live without. Now our fiber is done. And we are getting close to the end of this video. So, I think I've lost the plot again. So I should say that I am feeling rested again. I am feeling actually more rested than I have felt really since saying goodbye to my son. So I'm recovering. I'll catch a second wind, I am sure, or a third wind, and we will make it to the end. Make a cat toy. Well, I was just saying I had some more fluff, so I think I'll be making another cat toy. The last cat toy that I made, oh my goodness, the pill bottle filled with catnip and dried beans. It wasn't the easiest to crochet around, but oh my goodness, it is the perfect thing. You shake it and it gets the cat's attention. And it is something that gets the cats running to say, oh my goodness, I know what that is. So it has been a success. So we will see. I will make another cat toy and post a picture here at the end. I will check to see if there is snow and update as need be. But otherwise, I hope that you've enjoyed this Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, blessings and bye-bye.